Okay, he has to arrows on something, and I think he's going to arrows on the bats, and then he has to eat the wall breakers, or he has to eat the bats. I was like, he has to pick his poison there. Ooh, and that was a really great play, because either way, he was going to take a crap ton of damage. So, ooh, what's up, gamers? It's Jerky here, and today we're going to be using one of the most skillful decks inside of Clash Royale. And I know sometimes when I say that, I'm being sarcastic, but this deck is genuinely one of the hardest decks to play inside of Clash Royale. We're talking about a 2.9 elixir minor poison control deck. And if you've ever played against someone who's good with minor poison control, it is the most frustrating thing in the entire game. And somehow this godlike player is #1 in the world right now with this same deck. So if you want to challenge yourself and grow as a player and use a deck that has a skill ceiling on the moon, then this is the deck for you. But I'm not being dramatic when I say this deck is not for the faint of heart. There is a steep learning curve, so don't be disappointed if you try it out and you get smashed a few times. Just know, you're not alone. But if you can actually figure out how to use this deck properly, the sky is the limit. But it's like I always say, you can't take my word for it, because as we know, talk is cheap. So come along for the ride and I will show you how to utilize this deck to almost its full potential. Into our first match of the video against YouTube Daniel. Alright, our next match against Hector. And you know, a lot of times when you play this deck, because it is, you know, defensive, a lot more defensive than other decks, sometimes the games can go on for a while. You're going to see a lot of 4 and 5 minute matches. You're not always going to be winning the game in single elixir or in double elixir. Sometimes, you know, minor poison control kind of thrives in single elixir a lot of the times. Or excuse me, triple elixir a lot of the times. And that's okay. Interesting zap there by my opponent, to be completely honest. Alright, I really like the matchup from what I can see. From what I can see, I'm a fan of this matchup. We're going to get chipped somewhere on the right or the left. Looks like he's going to eat a little bit of Spear Goblins over on that side. Something that you can't be afraid to do with this deck is go for defensive miners. Come on, just get one swing on the Dart Goblin. No, he's not going to. Yeah, defensive miners. I think a lot of times people are like only ready to use miners as an offensive troop, when in reality they're just as good as like a knight on defense. Maybe not just as good, but really good. Okay, he used a zap, so I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to follow behind with wall breakers. Hopefully we get, you know, a little bit of damage here. Minions shouldn't be able to bail him out. Nice. I'll take one wall breaker connection, keep us in a healthy lead. So zap, minions, bomber, battle ram, bandit, kind of just like a bridge spam deck would be my guess. Like, he might not even have Pekka in here. Okay, it's either Pekka or it's just normal bridge spam, so that should be fine. It should be a good matchup for us. Things will always get tricky in double elixir. These matchups tend to be better for us in single than in double. I think the biggest thing is, you know, being ready for the zap and even baiting out the zap. Evo Bomber is going to come down here. Not much I can do about that. The good news is they nerfed Evo Bomber so that it no longer can get 2 shots on the tower, and we will get a nice King Tower activation here. So, kind of worth it. Although that is a crap ton of damage. Holy moly. Okay. Maybe not worth it. I don't know. You can decide how worth it you think that was, because I'm not sure that it was worth it. Alright, let's go like this. With the King Tower, we're going to be in a really good spot. He doesn't have Zap and Cycle, so this is pretty much going to defend the entirety of the Mega Knight, which is amazing. And because of that, I'm going to kind of just spam him here. Beautiful. And I think my boy is in trouble. Poison not quick enough to take care of those wall breakers, which is awesome. I'm actually going to let this bandit connect and then go for bats, so that way I can counter pressure with a miner and wall breakers. And now he has to pick what to zap, and he can't zap onto the battle ram like he wants. Oh, he wasted a zap. He wasted a zap. Huge. I think this is going to be GG's here. I'd be pretty impressed if he can stop all this that's coming down at him right now. That's the thing, is like, this deck is so annoying. He has to pick choose what to zap into poison, and it's just so difficult to defend. So really great play against that Mega Knight player. I hope that's helpful if you go against Mega Knight bridge spam. We'll hold that dub. I'll see you in the next game. All right, up here against Classic. Another reason that I think this deck is really good is more and more, maybe not more and more, but I've seen a handful of people that are running Cannoneer as well. So, like, this deck does pretty decent against Cannoneer. At least it can. We're going to pop this ability, kind of like a bailout on defense, which is nice. And we're going to pressure with bats as well. Force out a small spell, maybe like arrows. Perfect. Cool. And I'm cool with that interaction. I don't think our Goblinstein Doctor will cross the bridge, so I think I'm going to go for wall breakers here. See if it can force out something. It actually does force out the cannon. Okay, good to know. Good to know that he's running mortar. Mortar is still one of the most popular deck archetypes in the game. I mean, I don't know if mortar needs a nerf, or the support cards need a nerf, but it's like, God, there's so many mortar decks. But from a matchup perspective, I think things look good for us. We're going to pressure with Spear Goblins. Whenever you're in doubt, you can always just cycle 1 or 2 cycle cards. It's really not that big of a deal. You don't really need them on defense too much. And plus, they're very susceptible to spells, so especially when you're playing against like Cannoneer or something, you can totally just cycle them and it's not really a problem. Nice. This is going to be a nice little counter push for us. I think bats are going to warrant a spell, hopefully. Okay, he does that instead. I'm actually cool with that. Kind of gives us a free poison. I'm going to refrain from popping the ability because I think that was aggressive-ish of a play already. So I don't need that extra damage. And I'm actually just going to wait and go like this. And I want the arrows to come down. I want him to have the arrows, but it looks like he's not going to. Okay, he has to arrows on something. I think he's going to arrows on the bats, and then he has to eat the wall breakers, or he has to eat the bats. I was like, he has to pick his poison there. Ooh, and that was a really great play because either way, he was going to take a crap ton of damage. So very, very well played to us. Okay, I think I have to poison here. Great poison. Spear Goblins are going to walk into it. Yep, absolutely great. Great plays. I'm very satisfied with that. This will pull the gang to the front if he goes for the gang. Okay, he doesn't. He just goes for the cannon cart. We're going to have to set up a defense here with the Stein, but that shouldn't be problematic here. Oh, that locked, so I have to poison. That's my fault entirely. Entirely my fault there for letting that lock. I misplaced the Goblinstein, but we're good. I mean, we're in a very, 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 very good position to win this match. I mean, we'd have to sell hella hard here to throw away this match. That's the thing about minor control, is it's so freaking good from a lead, too. Like, if you can just get a lead, like, you can win the game. So we're going to go like this. There's really no way you can stop this miner from connecting if I go for a pre-log. So GG's to that mortar player. I think we played that immaculately. If you're frustrated and you're tired of losing to mortar, you know, hopefully that was helpful for you. GG's to Classic. We'll hold that W. I'll see you in the next game. All right, into the next match here against Dan. So far, so good. Control style of decks are very, I don't know, I enjoy them. I'm a fan of them. I think it really teaches you how to play the game and be very slow and like diligent with your decision making, like not actually rushing anything. He just ate one of those wall breakers. So yeah, I think if you've never played a control style of deck, it's probably one of the best ways to develop as a player in general. I don't really agree with that ability. I don't think that like super got him anything. So we're gonna go like this, and I'm gonna drop lots of spam, and I'm glad that I did. Alright, I think one of the best ways to defend this with the hand that I have is to go for like a wall breaker kite. So I'm gonna actually split. Oh no, I'm gonna do it. I changed my mind. Pop this ability here. It'll should splash onto everything. He used the rage, so we're gonna drop the Spear Goblins, and we should be fine on defense. Okay, now I need to go for a wall breaker's kite. Those arrows were pretty smart, but we have so many 2 elixir cards, and most decks only run 2 spells. So you have wall breakers, you have Spear Goblins, and you have bats. So you can usually use one of your 2 elixir cards to defend. People just don't usually remember that you can use wall breakers to defend. So good defense by us, and we have great defense for the Pekka. All right, I think I'm going to wait here. Okay, I want to go opposite lane of this man, so I'm going to go like this, hoping that he doesn't ignore it. Hopefully he just drops a small spell. He does ignore it. I don't know what I expected from a Pekka player, so we're going to get ready. He's going to spam me, obviously, so we're going to go for a defensive poison here. Wow, that's crazy. Just ignore everything. It must be nice to be a Pekka player. Wow. Must be nice to be a Pekka player, huh? You don't have to defend anything. That was the most Pekka player I've ever seen. And he rolls his eyes. Bro just didn't defend. Spammed Pekka into my lane and expected. Wow. Okay. That's insane. That's insane. The BM was what did it for me. If you're gonna make plays like that, at least own it. Own the degeneracy. Anyways, we're not out of the woods yet. I don't think he has like a lightning, and I think he has like 2 small spells. So we're gonna get ready here. Decides not to give me. I'll take this poison. Need to get back to a second cannon here. Okay. Yeah. All he has is arrows and zap, so we should be okay if we spread out our, like I said, if we spread out our 2 and 3 elixir troops, we should be okay. Beautiful defense. And we lived. I kind of want to like BM him a little bit because he was BMing, but we're going to take the high road. No need for us to BM here, even though there's a little bit of toxicity at the end. I will say well played though, and hit him with the CR1 emote, because you got to let him know. GG's to that no skill Pekka player. We're going to hold that dub. I'll catch you in the next game. Alright, in our next match here against Son ZP. Sond. Not sure how to say that match name. I think Wall Breakers is by far the best starting play you can do, but I already said any of the 2 elixir cards. Ghost comes down, and so does the gang. So we're going to go Spear Goblins over there, and then Stein for this side, and we shouldn't take too much damage. Interesting that he used his arrows. I don't hate that play, but it's just interesting. We have whenever they use their small spell on offense, you can usually get a really good punish off, right? Yeah, because look, was that worth it? He arrows my tower and he ate all that damage. So whenever they're aggressive with it, don't be shy to be aggressive on your side of the field as well. I'm gonna do this because I want to keep this Dart Goblin off my tower. Beautiful. I'll take that. Okay. Ooh, perfect. That gave my cannon a lot of value. Lol. Okay. A W cannon placement by your boy. Gosh, that was horrible. I'm going to do this, and it will tank for both sides. If you play Miner on the inside, it's tanking for the right and the left. Oh, he arrows on the left. He arrows on the left. Look at. He arrows the wrong side. How does he defend this? Oh, he's just going to eat it. Dude, that is one of the most satisfying things is when you're going in and you know that they don't have elixir to defend. Like, knowing that he spammed, he used his arrows, and that he had nothing to defend, that was like, chef's kiss. And if you play this deck, a lot of times you'll find yourself in that type of situation. A lot of the time. I'm going to go Stein here because it'll reset the Prince, which is awesome. And then I can just go Spear Goblins high. Yeah, that was like an interesting Prince at the back, I feel like. Alright, this should take his tower if I'm not mistaken. I don't even think I need to pop the ability. I think I'm just going to set up a defense instead. Pretty damn near took his tower. Okay, he should have to play a spell on that. I'm going to wait and play a Miner. And now I can activate King Tower with that. More than likely. Beautiful. Pop this ability and just dismantled, man. That's got to be an amazing matchup for us. But at the same time, I feel like we played it really well. Decks like this are really good at like just beating cheesy, you know, gimmicky decks. So that much is nice. My log ready if he continues to spam, but yeah, it's fine. That should pull the Dart Goblin. And then we'll go Wall Breakers to make sure that we don't give him any hope, really. Log here. Miner. Like I said, don't be afraid to go for those defensive Miners. Spear Goblins in the center, so they help with everything. And these defensive Wall Breakers will actually blow up on the Ghost. So, once again, feeling like you're in control because it is a control style of deck. So, we're going to hold that W. You know, give him the good game. No need to be toxic. And we'll see you in the next match. Alright, into likely our last match of the video. I feel like all the games have been a really good length, and I've really showed the ceiling I think that this deck has, or maybe not the full ceiling, but just some of the things that this deck can do. I'm going to go Miner to support these Spear Goblins, but yeah, if you've made it this far, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you supporting the content and watching me, and I know you have a ton of choices when it comes to CR YouTubers, so if you're here and you're choosing to watch me, like, I'm just so grateful. That's all. That kind of felt aggressive. I mean, he spent a battle ram, he spent the ability, so I think I'm going to set up for some split lane pressure here. I think that's going to be one of the best things that I can do in this situation. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go Miner on that side. It's going to tank for both lanes. Look at both lanes are being tanked for. Look at the Spear Goblins on the left. Ice Spirit's not going to clean them up, so we're going to get great chip on both sides, which is exactly what I wanted. And we'll just log here. At first I thought it was Mortar because he has the cannon cart, but Battle Ram is kind of confusing, to be honest. Not sure why he'd have Battle Ram. Fortunately, I had to spend a lot there. And he's going to zap over there, and I'm going to eat this damage because I was going to say, no, Battle Ram deck doesn't run a small spell. So, kind of well played by him. Like, I don't know if he knew that I had an awkward hand, but I definitely had an awkward hand to defend that. I'm thinking arrows are the only spell, so that's actually really good for us because as the game goes on and double and triple elixir go around, we're gonna have a really fast cycle, and it should give a lot of our 2 elixir troops a ton of value. So as long as we spread everything out for him and we don't give him good arrows value, we're gonna be in really good shape. I'm just gonna cycle my Stein, and we have cannon here. I'm really glad that we didn't split those. And like I said, all I'm ever worried about is avoiding giving him arrows value a lot of the time. The pressure with wall breakers here, and I'll take this poison. I think one of those connects. Yes, one of those does connect. Beautiful, beautiful. And cannon cart's gonna fall. So that interaction worked out pretty well for us. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll just log here and go bats, knowing that he's probably gonna arrows onto these bats or play something. Ah, he doesn't. Okay, arrows. I was gonna say arrows got to come down eventually. So now that we know that arrows are out of cycle, all of our other 2 elixir cards can kind of go feral here. I'll take this poison. Feel like it's a fine play. And poison plus log kills the doctor, which is nice. We'll see if he goes and drops anything else. No, he doesn't. He's just giving me so much poison value there. Like, look at that. We're hitting so much with that miner and that poison, and that cannon cart is not going to make it. We know his only big spell is arrows, so spreading everything out. Oh, except I gave him arrows value over there. He'll probably take it, so I have to go miner. That's my fault. I didn't mean to give him that arrows value, but even so, we were so ready for it. His only spell is arrows, so all of our 2 elixir troops are just a nightmare for him. So, but you know, we do got to close out. We got to finish. Just because we have a lead doesn't mean that this match is over. And when you play decks, when you play this deck, you got to be ready for your opponents to be going all in. Okay. I'll take this poison, 100%. Wow, that is a lot of poison value that he just gave me. A lot. Yeah, he had to go arrows too. It's unfortunate for him. Just going to go for another poison. Poison's so good on defense, dude. So underrated to just be able to just drop defensive poisons. It's really, really good. Okay, just gonna keep jamming this lane. I mean, if he can't break through, he can't win, so. I'm gonna go like this, maybe force out a spell, maybe not. Okay, he played his arrows. Once the arrows are out, we're in. Miner, wall breakers, poison, and it's going to be probably impossible for him to defend this without arrows in hand. Yep, GG's, no arrows in hand and no defense. That's the way that this deck works. So, good recognition that he only had one small spell and just running over him when he didn't have it in hand. So, GG's to that guy. We'll hold the W, and I'll catch you in the outro. And that is going to do it for today's video. I will go ahead and show the deck here. And that's going to do it for today's video. Here's the deck one more time in case you want to take a screenshot and try it yourself. I'll also put the link to this deck in the YouTube description so you can just open it inside of Clash. Please give it a try. I promise it's so good. It's so strong. #1 player in the world is using it, and it will make you a better player. Like this deck, when I think about skill needed to play, is like a 9 or a 10 compared to a lot of other decks in the meta. So give it a try. Practice it. Let me know what you think of the deck in the comment section. And thank you one more time for watching. I really hope to see you in another video real soon. Peace.